I apologise about the sound from the road, it can't be helped. But what we've got here is some type of Acer. It's quite thick. I did a trunk chop on it a couple of years ago, but the reason this is interesting is last winter my dad went round with a spade and actually cut a trench around the trunk, so this should be easier to remove. Yeah, we don't want to damage these roots. Right, when we get it up on its side now, I'm going to get a shovel in and spade in and
the way up. See the break at this side.
just got to get some of this soil off. Right, just drag it this way, yeah?
Where's that big root? I've got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Lovely. Cheers. I've moved round into the back garden now where it's a bit quieter, and you can see how easy that came out. Part of the reason is because this was only put in place there about 6 or 7 years ago, but also, as I said earlier, because the roots were all chopped 12 months ago, it's allowed, you know, we didn't have to cut through any big roots, and it's also allowed lots of new roots to form inside. But there are some major problems that I'm going to work on now. You wouldn't necessarily do this work with a collected tree. You might just take it and plant it and get it to grow healthily, but before I do that, look at these awful roots. They need dealing with. One of the main reasons I've never really bothered with this tree in terms of bonsai is because of these just awful circling roots around the base. They're no good. Something's got to be done with them, and until these are dealt with, this tree is just not viable as a bonsai. So there, I've just snapped that off because I mean, as it turns out, there's hardly any roots on that. That was pretty much dead anyway, so that was good. This is all going quite nicely. Hopefully now this other root on the other side will be the same. So let's see. This is the root here. As I say, it's a very ugly root. It comes up and then it comes down here, and it does need to be removed. So I'll just cut through there. There we go. It's quite hard to get out now, this. But if we don't deal with issues like this tree can never be a bonsai, because that'll always be so ugly. This is a shocker actually. I think it goes round here and comes out of this huge root there. So I've decided to just bite the bullet and cut. It's hard to really work out what I'm cutting through here, but something needed to be done. That's a thick piece of wood, that. No idea what I'm going down into. I spent another half hour to hour absolutely hacking back this tree, getting it back into some kind of shape, and I've taken almost all the roots off. I'll just give you a closer look before I put it in a pot. I've had to open up the camera aperture and put my ISO to 20,000, so I don't know what the picture quality is like, but hopefully you can see what's going on. And if you see, I've removed all of these roots that were wrapping around. I've made some huge cuts right through, all the way down there, all the way there. It was a lot of work. I couldn't record it. It was just, I was panting and sweating and cutting. But basically, I've got rid of everything with the hope that this comes alive and sends new roots out in the spring. So we've got the wires in. That's plastic coated steel wire. I put some of my bonsai soil in. When you've got so few roots, at least you don't need to chopstick it in. That just sits in there. Like that. I think it's going to sit on some kind of angle like that, showing off some of these roots in that direction. But it's very hard to see for me. It's very dark. It's just the camera allowing you to view in these conditions. It's my normal bonsai soil mix. I just press it down at the sides just to hold it in place like that. And then I can wrap these wires around. There we go. That's pulling down nice and tight, that. So that's in really tight at that edge. Perfect. Then I just go to the other side. Whoa. I don't want to go over the top, so I'll just come sort of round this side, I think. And obviously the thing now is, the question is, will this tree survive? As it was no good. It could never have been a bonsai with those awful thick roots encircling the trunk. But now, if it makes it, it's got some potential to be, I think, quite a nice tree. pulled in nice and tight. There we go, that's solid, which is what I want. That could be quite interesting. What do you think? Something there for the future. You couldn't accuse it of being a boring tree anyway. It's too dark for me to do any pruning on this, but I can't allow all these buds to develop into leaves in the spring. They would have too much of a water requirement, and there's more or less no roots, so it just wouldn't work. So this has to come right back, but I'll do that another time. This will be my last video for a while. I just wanted to mention it. I'm off into hospital in a couple of days' time for an operation on my eye, which will hopefully help going forward, but I don't know how long I'll be out of action for. But, you know, go back, watch some of my earlier videos, not my really early stuff, that's awful, but some of my mid-range stuff that you might have missed. And as always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.